Hello, and welcome to Chandler in Focus. I'm Councilmember René Lopez, and we'll be talking about the Chandler Viridian project today. My guests today are Chris Anderson, the Managing Director of the Hines Development Group, and James Smith, the Economic Development Program Manager for the City of Chandler. Welcome.
Thank you.
So first, let's talk a little bit about your background. James, let's start with you.
Yeah, thanks, Councilmember. It's good to be here to talk about this project. And really, one of the reasons it's nice to talk about it is my career here at the City of Chandler spans 10 years now, and it really kind of coincides with almost the stopping of work with Elevation Chandler, and now getting to work with Chris and his team on getting this going again. So it's really exciting. So it's good to be here.
Thank you. Chris?
Well, thank you again for having us as well. Well, I've been here in Arizona since actually 1991. I was an Arizona State grad, and then I left for a while, went to graduate school up in Denver, and then came back, worked here from 2000 almost into 2006. Tried to buy that parcel a couple of times, but was unsuccessful. Someone else got it, and but eventually came back around, and so excited to be here. Hines is a great company, and we're excited to be a part of Chandler.
Okay. So let's talk about the Elevation Chandler history here. And you give us a little background on that?
So in the zoning for the project was finished in the end of 2005, began construction soon after, but stopped in the spring of 2006, and basically for the next 8 years sat in that condition, over 8 years, until Hines took that over. It was the number one inquiry that we would get. Economic development, we would be out speaking at various events, whether it's chamber lunches or tours that we were giving. And that was the first question we knew we would always get, is what's happening with Elevation Chandler? So if for no other reason, then we don't have to answer that question anymore. It's great that has finally been resolved. So Hines came along, I believe in 2013 you proposed the project, yes. and then in 2014 it was approved, and we saw the demolition happen in November of 2014. One of the most interesting suggestions we got for the old structure over the years was to make it almost like a Topgolf, where people could hit golf balls off that structure out into the open land. So that was kind of, we got a lot of suggestions on what we could have done with it, but I think we got a good project.
I'm not a golfer. I don't know if it would give the distance, but I don't know, hitting golf balls towards a freeway just sounds a little risky to me. I think we found a better solution here. So Chris, you mentioned that you've been interested in this line for quite a while. What did you see in that area for wanting to develop it?
Well, it's a very unique parcel in that you have a 1.3 million square foot mall that's very successful, and you have the confluence of two freeways, and we really just liked that parcel for a mixed use project. But at the time when we tried to acquire it in 2004, 2005, the gentleman that had it before us just was willing to pay a little more, and so be it. It worked out as it did, but we just think that's a fantastic area, great location. It's got a lot of great attributes there that you don't have to build into your project that already exists. You just have to enhance them. So that is why we like that site.
So we're going to get into some of the details of the development in a little bit, but at a high level, what does Hines see, and what do you see as the vision for that site?
Well, in our master plan, we detailed to the council that we really saw this as a opportunity to develop a mixed-use project. And mixed use is a very loose term that people use. But we saw the opportunity to have some residential that's there to support the retail, because retailers need people that live by and are going to live in that area and frequent their establishments. And then we also know that employment is important in this area, and especially within the Price corridor. You just got great accessibility to that area. And then of course, adding a hotel and some additional retail there. We didn't want to add a lot of retail to the area because it already was existing, but we wanted something that was complementary to what was there and could also provide both the residents and the office workers, the hotel, convenience, if you will. So that's what that retail is. It's really convenient retail.
Okay. So, and like you mentioned, this being that top, this is the entryway into the Price corridor.
Correct.
How do you see the development of your project and again, how that's fitting in with the rest of the Price corridor being, like I said, a major employment area, but now you're going to have a mixed use, right, with the hotel and other items. How do you see this fitting in with that?
Well, we hope that it sets a quality standard for Chandler and continues to showcase all the great things that area has. You know, we build high quality projects across the globe, and you know, this project is definitely going to have a lot of focus because of all the traffic that drives by. That we hope it continues to just be a showcase to attract future employers to Chandler, future residents to to the Chandler area, and really just sets a great quality standard of what you can do with mixed use, and hopefully it becomes a little bit of a planning model for future parcels that you have within the city.
And expanding upon that, so again, you saw Chandler's growth in the past. You tried to buy it the first time. You know, unfortunately, we all did see a little bit of the slowdown there, but now we're coming out of it. And what do you see in the Hines development group there? What do you see for the future of Chandler in this corridor area, the Price Road, the mall, and again, that surrounding area in the immediate area?
Well, again, you know, the next generation of workforce and and you know, living experiences, if you will, are demanding these types of locations. You know, they want walkability, they want wellness. So some of the things that I know we'll get into, but you know, we did some unique things within our site plan to provide those things, to provide walkability, provide connectivity, provide a sense of community, which is what people are looking for these days. And then it also, again, sets a precedent and a planning model for future parcels and future developments that Chandler can point to and say, this is sort of what we expect, and you know, not trying to build race towards the bottom, but push towards the top is the way that I see it.
Perfect. So, taking a step back, and now the development's really underway. Again, I just saw that closer. I believe it's the hotel part closest to the street. I think just started going vertical.
Yes.
You know, this week, and you guys are running down the road with this project, and it's great. I mean, a lot of citizens are extremely happy about it, along with a lot of us in the staff and in the council. But you may take a step back because it had sat for so long with that monstrosity of a concrete building, half building on it. What were some of the challenges you had to overcome in order to prep the land for your new construction?
Well, when I started, I had jet black hair, and of course now I've grayed quite a bit with this project. It was quite the task. It was financed on what they call a tenant in common structure. So there was 252 tenants in common that owned the north 10 acres. And then you had the mall company Macerich and the Propster family that owned the south 15 acres. So assemblages in general are difficult to do anyway because everyone has certain timing, certain tax reasons why they want to do certain things. And then you couple that with having 252 tenants in common that are in a bankruptcy that lost a lot of money through the recession. Trying to get them all to trust you to sign their deeds and believe that you're going to close and they're not going to lose additional money was just a daunting task, not to mention assembling it, master planning it, working with the city. But I have to tell you that I think you have a fantastic city staff. Jeff Kurtz in the planning department and his group are just great to work with. We really enjoyed that process. They were not an impediment. They certainly want to protect the city's interests, but they wanted to find out how they could make it work, not, you know, trying to make the system more bureaucratic. So we were very happy through that process, and so it was quite a daunting challenge. It took us 18 months from the time we put it under contract to the time we closed to get it done. And I will tell you that along the way there were many times where we had a significant amount of money in, and I was a tad nervous that we may not get it there. There were days where I'd be high-fiving in the morning and crying in the afternoon. So, but I'm just glad we got it done, and today I'm just so excited about this project. It's just a signature project for us in the Valley.
Great, and you know, it's good to hear from the business side. You know, in the city, we do want to protect the interests, the tax dollar of our residents and citizens, but we also need to make sure that we establish, if it's not a partnership on paper, it's definitely a partnership in the community, right? We want to work together and make sure that we're providing that best result.
Absolutely.
For everyone that's involved. and the businesses, because we know you guys got to make a profit too, and it's got to be something that's going to be successful. So we don't want another elevation.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So we do need to make sure that partnership is synergistic, that we're helping each other out, and it's great to hear. I mean, we continually hear that, and again, kudos to the staff and also to the business, the vision that businesses have to come and continue to work with Chandler to help us all grow. So let's dive a little bit into the project. So multi-phase, we've got a lot of going on right now. So let's talk first and work our way north. Let's talk about some of the apartment complex, where you're at there, and what it's going to consist of.
So there's 335 apartment units on site. It's 4 stories. It's got tuck under garages. If you have not been there, I highly encourage you to go. The interior courtyards are like a spa. This is not the college. This is not the multifamily complex I had in college. This is impressive, and hats off to Alliance Residential and their group. They did a great job in executing the vision that we had hoped for. We provided them what I'd call a concept and schematic design, but those things sometimes don't always come out exactly like you expect. And in this case, I think they did a great job of almost really exceeding expectations. They just did a wonderful job. So very excited. They just commenced leasing, I think about 30, 45 days ago on their first phase. And of course, they're finishing the second, the additional buildings that are there that are, they started leasing their first buildings that were done.
So how many buildings and how many floors in total?
It's 4 stories, and I believe there's 6 buildings total on 11 acres. And I know they finished the first 3, and they're sort of getting the other 3. They were doing interior finishes and things.
And how many units again?
335.
335.
And they are beautiful units, very, very well appointed. I'm just super impressed with what they have done. So it's a great showcase for that area. I think it's perfect. So.
And then the next area north would be the office, or
will be the office building.
Okay.
So that is a 6-story, 250,000 square foot office building with a 3-story parking structure. It sits on roughly about 8 acres. So it's an L configuration, very efficient floor plates. It's exactly what tenants are looking for today. And again, I think one of the interesting things, and this was, I can't take credit for this, I have to give this to Jeff Kurtz, is that we also have this, what we call this, and you'll see it in one of our graphics, this pedestrian promenade that will connect the residential to the office building, and then eventually into a center courtyard that the hotel and the retail and the office all share. So there's great connectivity for the pedestrian in there, and really thinking about that in terms of how do we not. They're all different projects, but how do we make it feel like it's all one project,
together,
all flows together, right? It has some commonality.
So it's great to hear. We were talking a little before, a 6-story office building. That's impressive.
It's going to be a big building. I will tell you that.
Relatively speaking, we're still, like you said, Chandler. We consider ourselves still a small city.
It is,
but we're getting there. 6-story office building is impressive in this area.
So and hopefully, like I said, we're about to submit our final plans for permit, and I'm hopeful that we're in construction by kind of second quarter next year. So we are working very hard on that project.
Good. All right, sounds great. So for those of you that are just joining us, you're watching Chandler in Focus, and I'm Councilmember René Lopez. And today my guests are Chris Anderson with the Hines Group and James Smith with the City of Chandler Economic Development. And we're talking about the Viridian project. So we just talked about the hotel, and we talked about the office, and the next one is the retail.
Yes.
Let's talk about the retail.
So I don't think we got to really get into the hotel, but let me kind of tell you a little bit about that.
I said hotel, I meant apartment complex. Okay.
Yeah, the multifamily there.
Multifamily. Right,
so the hotel, we have a great partner there, Concord Hospitality out of North Carolina. They're building a 136-room Cambria Suites hotel. It's sort of a modern brand hotel out of the Choice Hotels brand.
Okay.
And just beautiful. They worked with us pretty, I call hand in glove in terms of making sure that we had, I like to say we're cousins of each other, in terms of matching the modern nature of what our office building looks like and what we're doing there, but fits within the context of the Chandler Mall, complex. And so we're really excited about that. It's a 6-story hotel, and they're just doing a wonderful job. So we've been very happy with that.
And how many rooms today?
136 rooms.
136 rooms.
So
Okay.
I think that's going to be a very busy hotel. I think it's going to add to the area, and hopefully, it adds to additional sales tax dollars to the city. So, people go over to the mall and enjoy a meal and shop and stay there. Coming from out of town, we're happy to host people from all parts of the world here.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then moving a little further to the north and east is the retail there.
Okay.
So we have 24,000 feet of retail that's programmed. That is, we have a development partner on that, Winfield Lee, a local smaller firm, but doing a really great job. They commenced and broke ground on their first phase, so they are doing a build-to-suit for Panera Bread on one portion, and they've got about 5,000 feet of inline space that will, have convenience retail there that will support the office, and really that's all kind of centered around a shared courtyard, Central Plaza as we call it. And that Central Plaza will be able to be utilized by not only the office workers, but people that are, having breakfast, lunch, dinner there. They can sit outside there and enjoy that area and enjoy our great weather here in Phoenix.
So is the retail the closest to the street then?
Yes, it is. The
Okay.
retail is the closest to the street, closest to Fry, and it's single story. But it's very nice. It's very well.
No, it
appointed.
retains
We'll
the
like it.
views for the
office
hotel
building and the office building. Correct. And it'll, the big thing with retail is convenience parking, so it will have its convenience parking and make things easy for people to be able to get in and out. And so excited about that piece.
So you're talking about some of that walkway. I saw some of the features in the walkway, and for the multifamily, it's going to have a promenade around it, some jogging areas. I saw, was it a 3/4 mile jogging loop? Some dog park areas, and
Yes.
you want to expand upon some of the
Sure.
features that'll be there?
So early in my career, I ran a big master plan community, and in starting this master plan community, we built parks and had a little retail area and a thing. And the number one question after we finished the community is where's my walking trails and where's my dog park? The pocket park was nice, but that was sort of just expected. They really wanted these things in. And so I learned early on that those elements are very important to people's lifestyle today. So one of the important elements is we have a 3/4 mile walking trail that goes all the way around the site, on the perimeter of the site. So people who live there can get out and get fresh air and walk. Same thing with the office workers, with the hotel. I like to jog, not nearly as far as I used to, but I'm a runner, and I know when I go travel, I like to be able to get out, and sometimes you don't know where you are because you're in a city you don't know. So to have this feature
Right
to run around a couple of times and get your mileage in, and it'd be a nice feature to have. And then the residential has a dog park. The multifamily has a dog park there in the back, and some of the other features that it has. Because again, people that are living in some of these multifamily, they choose it as a lifestyle. It's no longer just a temporary residence. Some people live in these for quite some time because they want a lock and leave lifestyle, but they may not have children or things, and so they have pets, and so they need a place to go, and so we have a little dog park in there. So it's a nice feature. Couple that with all the other stuff.
And we talked
have.
about that. So we're seeing you and the Hines Group. You're seeing that shift of again the workers and some other meetings have been having. It's not just the millennials and young kids anymore. It is some of the middle age, some of the empty nesters that are looking for that local livability, work, live, play, kind of close to home. But and you mentioned community. It's
Absolutely.
not really just the work. It's not that they don't want to not travel anymore or go further. It's the development of that community feel now.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. You're seeing that, and I think that kind of started. It's not something that's new. I mean, I call it a little bit of the Starbucks effect, right? Where coffee shops became in vogue and people really wanted to, meet there and everything else. And now I think that's just spilled out into how we do planning and development now. And you're certainly seeing that resurgence in downtown, Chandler. We're seeing it in other cities around the valley. But we see this on a global basis. Hines is in over 200 cities and 19 foreign countries, and so we see this in quite a few of our projects across the globe. And Hines really embraces these things as part of our planning metrics. It's sort of in our DNA, if you will.
So you're seeing that shift not just in the Southwest or country, right? You're seeing it worldwide.
Worldwide, we're seeing it worldwide. I mean, we're building, we're doing the Transco Tower, or excuse me, the Salesforce.com tower in San Francisco. And one of the reasons why that's on the Trans Bay down in San Francisco, right in the heart of the bay. And one of the reasons why we won is because we actually put a park up on the up above the train station there, because that's where people want to collaborate. They, there's already residential around there. They want this park. They, office. So they're really seeing this as become more of a
The growth of the
lifestyle
community.
on
That's
the
great.
growth
That's
of the
great for
community.
everyone. So James, I wanted to touch on some of the stuff that the city had to do in order to kind of help and also work with Hines in order to get the project off the ground. You might give me some little background on that?
So really, Hines had the kind of vision we were looking for. The PAD zoning that was already in place really supported the things that Hines wanted to do, and they were committed to tearing down the structure, which was very important.
That was
to
number
the
one on
city
the list.
as well. So from that standpoint, I think there was just close collaboration between. I would definitely echo what Chris said about the planning department, just working closely with Hines, but I think their vision meshed really well with what the city was hoping for, and certainly getting that structure torn down.
By the way, we really enjoyed tearing down that structure as well. It was quite some fun.
If I remember correctly, I think it's on YouTube also. Is
Correct.
The mayor pounding or put in the seat, pounding away with the crane or whatever the jackhammer at some of the concrete to help take that thing down.
Yeah, it was interesting when I proposed a concept to Mayor Jay to be the one that tore down the first bond beam there. He he kind of said, I don't know, this sounds pretty cool, but we'll have to understand a little more and everything else. Afterwards, he came off. He said, you've ruined me for any golden shovel groundbreaking ever again. He said, I want power now. He's like, I like this. So but it was a lot of fun.
I was there for a little bit, and even though I'll just say this, that even though it had stood there for quite a while, and thought maybe it'd come down a little easier, it was pretty sturdy. It took a while to.
It did.
bust that thing down.
Rebar reinforced and
Concrete, yeah.
concrete is tough to bring down. So.
And it doesn't age or decline with age, does it much? It just seems like it's wrong.
And it took a full 24 hours for us to get it all the way onto the ground. And we had to do that. We couldn't, they really did. They worked about 14 hours in terms of getting it down on the ground and then securing everything. It was a full 24-hour shift. So it was quite the undertaking that most people didn't understand, because the number one question I got is, are you going to put charges in there and blow it up, right? And I kept trying to figure out how to tell people that, my luck is it would tip and fall right towards the freeway, and then ADOT would have my head, right? I said, no, we're not going to do that. I'm not that risky.
That wasn't too big for it. It would have been fun, but
Yes.
So I also heard that recently that Hines received the award for a transaction of the year.
Yes.
This project. So what does that mean to Hines?
Oh, it's a fantastic honor. I'm just glad that our peer group and our noticed the effort that we put forward, and it was a very interesting transaction to say the least. But I'm just glad that we got that recognition, and I think it showcases how great that area is, and come do business in Chandler.
Mm-hmm. So if people want to find out more, whether it be on the multifamily residential or in the office spaces, the retail, where would somebody go to find out more information about the project and leasing options and so on?
Sure. So like anything, it's all on the web. It's digital there. But so ChandlerViridian.com is one source for the entire development and the office space. Broadstone Fashion Center is the for the multifamily, and then Cambria Suites is for the hotel. I don't believe the retail has it, but we have information on the retail for on our ChandlerViridian.com.
On the project
So,
website, ChandlerViridian.com.
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
Right. So with only a few minutes left, is there anything else you'd like to add, James?
I just kind of want to piggyback on some things that Chris was saying about kind of that live, work, play atmosphere. Mm-hmm. We're hearing from more and more of our employers that are looking in the area, and one of the things I think that has made downtown successful is their employees want a place where they can go get lunch at a cool restaurant, and then they want to be able to go out afterwards, and they want to live close by, and they want good access. This site really provides all of that, and I just really see that millennial workforce would be attracted to this area and to the offices, and I could see visitors definitely wanting to stay at that hotel and be able to shop and eat and do business on the Price Corridor. It really is kind of the epicenter of the Price Corridor. So we're really excited, and I know that Chris has done a lot of effort to get to where we're at. So thank you on behalf of Economic Development.
Well, you're welcome.
Thank you on behalf of the city.
Well, thank
and the
you,
residents.
and thanks for having us as
Anything
well.
else you'd like to add also, Chris?
No, I think it's been a great experience, been a wonderful project. We are excited of these next phases that are getting started here, and the only sad part that I have is that it's probably going to end much quicker than I want, right? Because you put so much time and effort into these, but at the end when it's done and we get to put a bow on it, it'll be nice. So hopefully we'll have you out for the groundbreaking of the office. That'll be the next big event that we'll have, and we're really excited about that next part.
It's great. It's a successful project. It's like seeing your kids go out and get a good job, though, right?
Correct.
And then also you can start on the next one.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
Well, thank you both for being here, and thank you for joining us for Chandler in Focus. I'm Councilmember René Lopez, and hopefully we'll see you next time.